Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. Joe over there behind the computer hanging out with us tonight. Guest co-host Mookie.
What's up?
Drew.
Yes,
Hey
sir.
buddy.
Yes, sir. You know it.
We got a hell of a show for you guys tonight. Tonight on the pod, we are interviewing Trey Watson, XFL linebacker for the Dallas Renegades. We actually interviewed him last year before the draft, so we're going to get him on tonight. Get pumped for the XFL. It's time. Football season is officially starting now.
Well, no, it just didn't end.
That's
right. Like why?
Well, but
why
now
say
it's
it
not like
ended?
the real football starts. Like real football starts
That's right.
now.
This is
Like,
your
it's-
daddy's
it's-
football.
right.
They're gonna hit people in this.
Actually,
league,
my
right?
dad hates the XFL for some reason. I don't know
Papa B, but why?
why. I don't know.
He hasn't seen it yet.
I mean, I guess he's just basing it off of what he's seen in the past. We're going to talk to Trey a little bit later on. We also are going to talk some deep, in-depth Super Bowl analysis, like statistical breakdowns. No, I'm just kidding. We're just going to talk Super Bowl halftime show. That's it.
You didn't fool anyone, man. What was the score of the game, Mike?
31-20.
Okay, there you go. There's your stats.
Yep, there you go. Thank you to everybody tuning in on 12 Ounce Sports and everybody on Facebook Live. Be sure to share out the show. Help us out. Get us in front of all your friends. If you are listening on 12 Ounce Sports, feel free to text the drunk line 440-37-DRUNK with any of your hot takes. If you're on Facebook Live, thank you guys. Be sure to comment, chime in, let us know what you think. Let's just address the elephant in the room right off the bat. Scott is not on the show tonight, and we don't know when he's going to be back. He's dealing with some stuff right now. We wish him nothing but the best. So hopefully we get him back soon. But until then, you boys got you. You boys got you.
I just
Motherfucker, you!
boom, coming in hot. So, anyways, while Mike gathers himself together, I just want to ask: is there any coincidence that Scott's not here tonight and Michigan State's head coaching job is open?
Oh,
Are those
maybe.
rumors true at all? Can we comment on that yet?
Could be. Man, D'Antonio leave. Okay, we'll get into that too. We're gonna talk some college football. We'll talk NBA trade deadline. There's a lot to get to tonight, so let's just get right into the beer of the week. And this week's beer, this is First Pour, as always, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Be sure to hit them up, everybody. Drink from a bat just like we do. Open your bottles with a cut-in-half baseball just like we do. Hit them up, dugoutmugs.online/craft, and you're going to get 10% off your entire order. No codes, nothing like that. Use that link, and we got the hookup for you. Dugout Mugs. This week's beer, we are drinking The Cat Ate My Stash and Pissed on the Christmas Tree, which is one of the best beer names I've ever seen. I didn't even know what type of beer this was. As soon as this popped up on Tavour, I was like, I'm buying this. It's happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a fantastic
Absolutely.
name. Drew, what type of beer are you into? What's your go-to beer? Style. We'll go style.
The cheapest one available.
There you go. You a hams man?
Oh yes, sir. Oh yeah, yeah. I will tell you. Let me actually. All right, no, I don't want to digress too much, but at some point we'll have to get in the story of how I caught shade for asking for a hams back at some fancy cocktail bar, thinking they're all better than people. Give me that
How can
shit.
you be above a hams, man?
Right?
Hams life is
That's
the way
a quality
to be.
beer.
That's
That's a high quality beer.
30-pack for $14.99. You cannot beat that. Mm-hmm. Well, this beer might beat that. The Cat Ate My Stash and Pissed on the Christmas Tree. This is from Gigantic Brewing Company in Portland, Oregon. 7.5% ABV brew. Here's what they have to say about this one on Tavour. 5 different hops to give an orange taste and an ultra-potent Kush and evergreen pine, giving it a dry West Coast-style hoppy bite. On the bottle, it says, "Consider this IPA our holiday gift to you. It's loaded with the dankest, stickiest, drippiest, piniest hops we could get our hands on." We were saying before the show, they basically describe the beer like potheads describe their weed.
Yes, sir. I do want to say though, once you said that it had pine in it, all of a sudden that's all I can taste.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. I
Didn't
mean, it's
notice it
just
before.
the pine flavor. Like it's not.
Right,
They're not like
right.
throwing needles in this one.
Well, I was gonna say because I eat a lot of pine, you know, in my day, so I know exactly what that flavor tastes like. But
I rode a lot of pine in my day.
And if you would like to drink out of a pine bat, make sure you go to Dugout Mugs. Get 10% off.
Dugoutmugs.online/craft. Drew, first time on the show. What do you think of this beer? First taste.
Oh, I definitely like it. It's got a little bit of something to it. It's got some nice flavor. Again, I don't taste the orange, but I'm okay with that. Sometimes orange gets a little much. I don't know about if I would describe it as Kush, but you can definitely taste the hops, and that's a good thing.
It's super hoppy, but it's not one of those that's like overwhelming. I think that's where that orange kind of flavor, it just sort of cuts the bite a little bit. Like when I read this one, I was like, dude, this is gonna be face puckering, what we used to describe as a two-brusher. Like I thought this was gonna be brutal, and it's not. It's super smooth.
I would say it's definitely a one-brusher for sure, but it's smooth. It's got a little bit of bitter, but it doesn't necessarily bite, so I'm for it.
Joe, what do you think of this brew?
It's good.
Dynamite drop in, Joe. Appreciate that. Well, we will see how this one holds up. Beer of the week, The Cat Ate My Stash and Pissed on the Christmas Tree, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Again, dugoutmugs.online/craft. Get 10% off your entire order. All right, let's talk Super Bowl halftime show. I don't care about
that's
the
all
game.
anyone wants to know about.
I really don't care about the
Best Super
game.
Bowl football game in probably a decade.
Okay, you say that. Wait,
Ish.
you say that. You think it was the best game ever? Because Joe had a tweet during the game. Joe, why don't you recap what you said?
It was boring.
But how boring did you describe that game? Because it was 10-10 at half, right? What was your description on that one?
Called boring.
I believe you said you would rather watch Navy and Duke play or something like that.
Oh, no. The Air Force Duke lacrosse game was an amazing game.
No. You were referencing a lacrosse game?
Yes.
last week?
And it was way better than the Super Bowl.
Okay, I took that tweet totally different because I thought he was like saying the Air Force Duke game would be more fun to watch than that Super Bowl.
And there you got us a question: are you talking football or basketball? But I want to point out: is that really a slam of the Super Bowl, or is that lacrosse is a damn entertaining sport?
Lacrosse is a really fun sport to watch.
A great show to watch.
Yeah, I'm all in on lacrosse. I played a little in college, little club lacrosse.
I know you make a routine out of lying to your fans, but you're going to start off the show that quickly.
No, bro.
with that?
I got the pictures to prove it. I actually still have the jersey that I stole and never gave back at the end of the season. Now, this is club lacrosse. This isn't like what Joe did where he was an NCAA athlete.
Right,
I played in a league where we would get a keg and carry it onto the sidelines. The freshmen on the team had to bring the tap. That's the league I played in.
I really wish I would have known this back then because I would have watched that. To see you guys run around after drinking beer on the sideline. Rugby, it's one thing because that is definitely a PED.
Brutal,
but for lacrosse,
it was brutal. We also got into a fight in Dayton because some kids showed up with brooms because they had beaten us in rugby that weekend, men's and women's rugby, and then we had the lacrosse game. And they came with brooms, and I got mad. I got real mad, and then the team got drunk, and then a fight broke out. Whatever.
I just want to point out that just shows you how much they have going on in Dayton. That they're that worried about their intramural,
their club teams, right?
Rugby and lacrosse, and
somehow they're still in the top 10 in the country.
We're not going to talk about that because I will get furious.
We'll talk about that on Cincinnati stuff.
There you go.
All right, so Super Bowl halftime show. I got to know.
Yes.
People are calling that the greatest halftime. Now, you said this was the greatest game. People are calling that the greatest halftime show they've seen. I'm going to correct you this
time. I let it go the first time, but I can't let this fallacy continue. I said it was the greatest game in the last 10 years.
It's
not the greatest of all time, but it's a damn good game.
Who cares? Who cares what happened more than 10 years ago? We
weren't around
Steelers
before
fans?
then, so
that's right.
Steelers fans.
That's right. Sports history.
I thought you were gonna go Cowboys, Oklahoma.
Sports history started April 24th, almost 4 years ago, when Craft Brewed Sports first hit the airwaves. Anything before that, who cares?
I'm struggling to find a counterpoint, so yeah, you can have this
You're
one.
welcome. Yeah,
Touché.
yeah. So anyways, they are saying that's the best Super Bowl halftime show. Would you guys agree that it was the best Super Bowl halftime show? I mean, we saw Prince playing guitar in the
Prince
rain.
Was good. Beyonce's was good too.
We saw Janet Jackson's nipple. We've seen some amazing halftime shows.
So admittedly, I don't watch the halftime show because I'm not there to watch a friggin' pageant show. I'm there to watch football, right? And so the halftime is 30 minutes for me to cram my face full of food so I can keep that base and not black out by the fourth quarter. But so from the ones I remember, this one was top 3, if not the best one ever. It was entertaining. It was fast-paced. It had quality music. The coordination was awesome. Are you going to jump in with what the truth is here?
No, it was actually, you're 100% right.
There was two smoking women dancing on stage. That's really what it is. That's what anyone wants to talk about.
All right, so let me ask you guys this then. After seeing that halftime show, Are you Team J-Lo or Team Shakira?
Why we have to be team either? Why can't we be team both?
Because I got strong feelings one way on this one. Joe, Team J-Lo, Team Shakira?
Both.
Shakira played guitar, drums, sang, and danced like that. Whew, that's what we in the business call a quad threat.
So you're never going to meet either one of them. So why would you limit your fantasy?
Why limit yourself? Come on now.
Yeah.
Robert Taylor chiming in saying Prince is still the best show ever. He said Bruno Mars had a good show. Bruno Mars does put on a good show, man.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
My 3-year-old won't stop listening to Uptown Funk.
Nor should he.
Knows every word
honestly.
to the song. It plays constantly in this house.
That's impressive.
There's a lot of Bruno Mars to deal with, though. That's a lot of Bruno Mars.
Would you rather deal with Baby Shark?
No, yeah, you're right. I'm going to take Bruno. I'm going to take Bruno in this game.
There you go. There you go. That's the right call.
All right. Did you guys think the halftime show was too sexual?
Dude, it's 2020.
Adam Levine didn't have his shirt on last year, so
Adam Levine was in the one last year?
Last
it was
year, yeah.
Maroon 5 again.
Don't worry, we forgot that last
with
week
Big
too.
Boy.
That last Super Bowl was trash, dude. I mean, it was a boring football game.
JB coming in and Robert Taylor both agreeing Shakira over J-Lo, especially after that performance.
Delusional, but that's fine. Again, why limit yourself?
Why not? Like, pick one. Stand for something in your life, Drew.
Oh, like I need to stand for you.
Pick
You think
a
I don't have
side.
opinions I will stand in? Let's talk about that streetcar.
Yes, I'm sure
Let's talk
everybody
about Brian
cares.
Kelly's future at Notre Dame. Let's talk about some stuff. Let's talk about the Red Wings rebuild.
You just talked about so many things that nobody listening to the show cares about.
But I have opinions. That's all I'm saying. You want me to stand for something, I'll stand for certain things.
I don't think many people were standing after that halftime show. There's a lot of sitting down, adjusting uncomfortably.
Well, I was going to say it wasn't that long. They probably were. Sorry, it's a family show. So Mike did ask earlier. He said something about how would you feel if your kids watched the show, or someone tweeted.
No,
that,
yeah,
right?
we'll do that in a minute.
All right.
We'll get into some hot takes barbecue because there were a lot of hot takes on not only just the Super Bowl halftime show but the Super Bowl in
All right,
general.
fine. You're
But
gonna want to
who-
stand for some kind of barbecue. What is your favorite style of barbecue? Since there's Kansas City in this game, that kind of I feel like that ties in.
I don't know if I've had a bunch of different styles.
Yeah.
Like I'm not well versed enough in the different styles of barbecue to know what style is city barbecue because I've had that a lot.
Trash.
Okay, well then I'm pretty much into trash barbecue. Really into trash barbecue. Is that like the Coors Light of barbecue? Is that the McDonald's
No.
of barbecue?
No, I mean it is a lot of places, but it's not.
What's your go-to, Joe?
Texas.
Texas barbecue?
Mm-hmm.
I never had it. What's the difference between Texas barbecue
So
and KC?
Texas, they basically just only use like salt and pepper and very little sauce.
Okay.
Where Kansas City is like the little more like vinegar based one, and the Carolina the vinegar based one,
I think Carolina's the bigger one.
and
Yeah.
Kansas City's like the ketchup based
Yeah.
Ketchup-based?
barbecue sauce. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
okay.
wait, wouldn't you say that ketchup?
Ketchup?
Catsup?
Can't.
Apricot?
Ketchup.
Shout out my man Scott. I got you, man. All right.
Who do you guys want to see in future? Well, let's not ask Drew since he doesn't care.
literally
Joe,
don't care at all.
Who do you want to see in future halftime show performances?
Someone that actually ties to the city instead
That's
of
all-
just the
that's
a good
biggest
answer.
instead of
Yeah.
just the biggest performer at the time.
All right, well, that's what this year was.
Yeah.
This year was,
Kinda.
it was celebrating the Latin culture in Miami. They played it up just like the Marlins did when they hired Guillen and changed their color scheme and put a weird thing. Like they were just really
Changed from John to Giancarlo and
Michael.
Mike to Giancarlo.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, that was.
Mike to Giancarlo.
So then where's next year's Super Bowl?
Wait, no, actually, I got one. I would like to see the Kelsey brother that's not playing in the game be the halftime show. I feel like that could
Man,
be great.
Joe, can you pull up his halftime speech? I found this one.
His
earlier-
halftime one or the one with
his-
the parade?
His parade speech.
With his freaking
he had a
belt.
pimp coat and a WWE belt.
Yep.
And went off. There was a minute 20 clip that I had seen that was just pure gold.
Oh, yeah. I got some breaking news, by the way. Travis Kelce is going to be out for the next 2 months with vocal cord reconstruction. Because I don't know how that dude was talking at the end of that rant. Like, it was gold. You're absolutely right. It was gold.
Next year they'll be in Tampa.
Oh, cool. We'll get
and then L.A.
All right, L.A. you can get like pretty much any musician, but Tampa,
Oh my God,
that's
what
it.
if they got Tupac?
That's it. Oh, just
That'd be dope as
hologram
hell.
Tupac?
No, he's still alive.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get regular. Let's get regular Tupac to come in and
Yes,
do that
sir.
show. Okay, so if Tupac reemerges at the Super Bowl halftime show, that reminds me of Tom Brady nearly retiring in that commercial.
I didn't look up the commercial ratings, but if that wasn't the best one, then everyone is just wrong. Recount. Oh, no, you know what it is? They use that Iowa caucus software. Dang.
All right, Robert Taylor saying Weird Al. He wants to see Weird Al. JB wants to see Nickelback. Robert Taylor.
JB, goddammit.
The reuniting of Creed. Oh, is Scott Stapp even able to do that? Like, I feel like that dude's lost his damn mind. All right, play this.
Oh, here we
Play
go.
this Travis Kelce speech because this dude is my favorite Chief at this point.
21 years. How about that? I'm going to walk this wall. How about 21 years?
Do you see Patrick trying to
Y'all
keep him
know
from
what
falling?
that means? Everybody here is thinking, oh, that's when I can, you know what I mean, legally get a drink. Yeah. No, 21 years. That's how long it's just been turning.
Why is that dude wearing a
for my
blanket?
guy,
Or no, that's a
Andy
rug.
Reid.
It's a Louis Vuitton rug.
It's just been turning and turning and turning.
He may think
And
he's
what
at
we
Monday
do-
Night Raw.
What we do, we unleash a can of whoop ass for everybody.
Kelsey. All right, so I was wondering how this was going to turn out because when Philadelphia won, Kelsey's brother was the hero of that
yeah.
parade. He dressed like a
yeah.
sultan. He just was screaming the Fly Eagles Fly song, dropping F-bombs on live TV. Like, that dude was lit up. And then I was like, I mean, Travis has to try to top that, right? The outfit, who wins in that case? I mean, you had Sultan Kelsey versus, like, rapper Kelsey. Malibu's Most Wanted Kelsey. I feel like Sultan Kelsey wins, right?
I don't know. Malibu's Most Wanted is lit.
Don't be hating.
Yeah, right? Chapstick, looking for this traffic. I always get that backwards. So now I've just leaned into it. And so anytime I try to go there, I go with it wrong. Because I can remember that every time. But here's the thing. Do you think he tried, or do you think that's literally just
No, I think
who the
that's
Kelseys
just.
are?
I think that's who they are.
Yeah,
that's like
absolutely.
them being them.
Yeah.
Which is good for them. They're crazy dudes. Played in Cincinnati, and I like the fact that they're nuts.
And that's what I was gonna say. We need to hear from someone that was at UC the same time, because they didn't go to school, right?
No, there's
they
no
definitely
way.
didn't go to school.
There's no
but,
way.
But anyone that ran into or was at least adjacent to them on campus, we need to hear about that. Because like even if you run into them in the calf or whatever, I'm sure it was an epic experience. You know what I'm saying? Like just crushing full trays of scrambled eggs at breakfast, and I can only imagine, right? Like
So the top two bands or people from Tampa, you have Under Oath and you have Aaron Carter. Either one of those two interest you guys?
absolutely, Aaron Carter.
Wait, yeah, I was
would
gonna
love
say,
to see that.
Isn't that dude in jail or something? Didn't Aaron Carter like lose his mind? Aaron Carter's like he's off the rails, bro.
I mean, looking at these pictures, he looks like a normal celebrity.
No. He's gone off the deep end. I'm pretty sure
my
Aaron
goodness.
Carter's like gone off the deep end.
Rest in peace, Goldberg.
He's like fighting with his brother. There was like restraining orders. He was threatening to kill family members. Like that dude is like not well.
What was the celebrity boxing show? Because I would pay to see the Carter brothers fight each other in the ring, and their mom would have to be the ref. I mean, that's a reality show I'm here for all day.
All right, let's.
He bought a house earlier last year.
Oh, good. He's on the mend. Good. Then bring him in. Redemption story for the Super Bowl halftime show. That's what everybody loves is redemption stories. So there it is, Aaron Carter, your next Super Bowl halftime performance. All right, let's talk commercials real quick because that Tom Brady commercial had everybody wondering what was going on for a week.
yeah.
Is he coming? Is he
Oh, yeah.
going? And then it turned out to be a Hulu has live sports commercial.
Sell out.
Wouldn't that be the best way for him though to make that announcement? Is
I was
like
gonna
during
say,
the Super Bowl.
That's the best part about it, though, Joe, because he doesn't need the money. So he literally did that just to screw with people.
It was the biggest troll job. It kind of made me like Tom Brady a little bit more. Kind of. Not a lot, but just a little bit.
He still went to Michigan, so yeah, he has a ceiling as far as how cool he can be.
I mean, we've been saying it for the past couple of years now. Tom Brady's got a personality. Ever since he did that like documentary where he kissed his kids,
That's true. Yeah,
he's been coming out and just been like outspoken and a real person and
That's weird.
secret Peyton Manning funny almost.
Almost, but it seems like it's one of those where it's like a robot program to tell jokes, and he's like, haha.
So you're saying it just took him this long for his AI to learn?
Yeah,
how to
yeah,
have a
yeah. It just,
personality now, like clicked all
right.
of a sudden.
Well, he's like a sleeper cell, and like somebody accidentally uttered the phrase, and now Tom Brady's like, personality. I have one now.
So you're saying as a Manchurian candidate, like, what's the next phase? Like when they say the next phrase, what happens?
That's when he snaps and just starts killing everybody.
Oh.
That's when Tom Brady loses his mind and kills everybody.
I was gonna say he goes all Iron Man and he turns into Iron Man,
It just saves
like not the
world.
Tony Stark part, like just pure Iron Man all the time, but for like a really pointless purpose, like making sure people don't get meaningless parking tickets. Sir, she just ran in to grab her groceries. I swear she'll be right back.
Oh, man. All right, Joe, let's fire up the barbecue. We got a few minutes here before we're going to get Trey Watson on the phone. So let's fire up the barbecue because there were hot takes galore this week based on the Super Bowl. So I want to get into these and find out just how spicy these takes were.
That's a good looking steak.
It's a damn good looking steak. What kind of barbecue is that?
Edible? I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to turn down barbecue.
No, I know.
Texas
Yeah.
style. But
No,
yeah.
I know. I got you. All right. Our first Super Bowl hot take came from @Domo_LXXXVI. What is that? 86? Domo_86. He said, Pat Mahomes is everything y'all said Andrew Luck was going to be. How spicy is that take? That's kind of a spicy take, right?
No.
No?
What is that supposed to mean?
He's
Like,
basically
Andrew,
saying
like,
the hype that Andrew Luck had coming into the league. Everybody was like, this dude is going to change how the quarterback plays. And he's saying Pat Mahomes is the guy that did that, where Andrew Luck just became nothing, just a footnote.
Footnote. Nice. When Andrew Luck was coming out of the league, all I was hearing is he's the greatest pocket quarterback ever to come out of college. He was going to win Super Bowls, and then he didn't. Pat Mahomes is completely different. The hype for Andrew Luck was overblown to begin with. Unless that guy went Tom Brady, he was never going to live up to it. Pat Mahomes is nothing like Andrew Luck in play style, the way he's developed, all this other stuff.
True.
So good for you, Domo. Number in Roman
so
numerals.
on a scale of freezer meat to burnt steak, how hot is that take?
It's still on the cow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, our next Super Bowl hot take comes from @Greg Case. He says, Jimmy lost that game. Dude can't read defenses and threw an interception with his eyes closed.
So the last part is definitely true. The first part is also true. Jimmy did lose that game, as did every other single person on that staff.
That's a good point.
They all lost.
Yeah.
Cool.
Technically, he did lose the game. Is he
Yeah.
the reason why the Niners lost the Super Bowl?
I
Is
don't-
Jimmy G the reason?
I don't think so. I actually watched this entire game, which is rare in the Super Bowl these days, or the national title game in college. But something happened in the second half where the Niners' game plan just wasn't working anymore. Like, they weren't running the ball as much because in the first half they were killing on the play-action pass. So I get why they went away from it. But at the same time, they were never really clicking either to begin with. So I think really what it was is the Niners' defense lost them the game. Because they were going to rely on that to keep the Chiefs in check, and they did for three quarters.
Yeah.
But how many did we play in football?
Not 3. It's more than 3.
There you go. So, great.
I also feel like Kyle Shanahan showed no faith in Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, the end of that first half to basically let that clock run out, that's a ballsy move on his part.
Yeah.
To just be like, yeah, Jimmy doesn't. It's almost it's almost like you saw a thought bubble pop up where he was like, Jimmy G doesn't have the juice. I can't put this in Tomato Juice's hands.
He put a couple throws together. The thing that was weird about it was we let the clock run down.
Yeah,
The
right.
play
That's what
calling
I'm
afterwards
saying.
made sense. Like, call a draw, call a run, see if you pop one. But to let, what, there's like 40 seconds run off the clock before.
That's because he didn't want to put it in his quarterback's hand. He didn't want Jimmy G to blow it.
So if we're going to blame anyone, then I think this is, what's his name? Shanahan lost the game and Andy Reid won it. Because Andy Reid played that game to win from the get-go.
Andy Reid is. I'm very happy for Andy Reid.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
21 years.
Did you see?
Turning in his gut.
I was gonna say, did you see Andy Reid's whatever his speech at the
not
parade?
see the speech.
It was basically, I'm really happy this happened. Pass the mic. And what really stung me is there
Was
was
he eating the cheeseburger?
I was just gonna say
Tell
there was
me.
no cheeseburgers in sight. I don't know how
Missed
McDonald's, Wendy's,
opportunity.
Burger King, all y'all. I don't know how you let that happen.
Missed
or you know what'd be great?
opportunity.
You have Arby's go ahead and have him hold their sandwich. Be like, Andy Reid loves cheeseburgers, but you know what he loves better? That bacon cheesy beef sandwich.
And then it's just Ving Rhames just like, Arby's, we have the meats.
Yes. Bob Burger, you mean?
He does.
Or
That's
Archer.
right. Yeah. All right, our last Super Bowl hot take on the barbecue. This comes from at Robbie Starbuck. He said, if your kids were in the room for the hashtag Pepsi halftime show, how did you feel about it and how did they feel about it? I felt like we were eliminating all forms of pure family entertainment. It was basically a super inappropriate striptease. How's this a family show? Hashtag Super Bowl. Does anybody want to tell them that the Super Bowl isn't necessarily meant to be a family show? Like, why is that? Why are we saying the Super Bowl is supposed to be a family show? It's literally 11 dudes trying to kill 11 other dudes.
In very tight pants. All I want that dude to know is the Puppy Bowl was on the Animal Planet. Just change the channel, bro. Like, because again, the other thing is to just think about, like, some of those commercials, they're a little racy.
Yeah.
But, like, again, also, why the hell are your kids awake? Go to bed. It's a school night.
What? I mean, where were these people in those Doritos commercials when, like, what's her name? Allie Larder was, like, really super sexy and they kept, like, shooting Doritos in her mouth and she was catching. Like, that was I remember being a kid seeing those commercials and just thinking, yeah, the Super Bowl is great.
I got
GoDaddy when they first started.
Oh, the GoDaddy
yeah,
commercials.
The girls
Yes.
eating the Hardee's burgers.
Ooh.
That's right. I forgot. Who was it? Yes, I can't think of who I'm thinking of.
Checkers, rallies.
Who's
You're
the
talking
singer?
burgers, so-
Jessica Simpson. Jessica Simpson.
Oh, yeah, the Pepsi commercials?
Just
Yeah.
any commercial she was in.
That's
Like,
true, too,
why
yeah.
are we focusing on this halftime show? Is like pointing to it as like this is the end of decency.
Basically, what this is people don't want to have to raise their own kids. Hey, TV, you got this, right? Or nowadays, it's like, yo, Netflix, YouTube Kids, you got this, right?
I mean, I do wonder that sometimes. Like, you good? Because I gotta take a break. Like, these kids won't stop crying. Like, you guys want to watch some movies? Cool. I'm gonna go sit over
You
here.
know, and this is where you could learn
Yo,
from your dad
Blippi.
because they make Benadryl for a reason.
No, it doesn't work on my kids. It has the opposite effect. There are some kids that Benadryl fires them up instead of like putting them to sleep. Anyways, that last tweet, that's freezer meat. That's like bottom of the freezer,
Yeah,
been sitting there
absolutely.
for a while. And anybody who was offended by the halftime show, kick rocks. Like, get over it.
Check your priorities.
Wait till next year's Aaron Carter show because it's gonna be off the rails.
Is there a cocaine pun in there? Is that what that was?
You get me, Drew. You get me. All right, Joe. Why don't you go ahead and try to get our guest on the line? While we're doing that, let's.
Should we talk about this awesome product?
I think we should. That's exactly
Because
what I was going to go.
I'll be honest, it saved my life a couple times.
Why don't you tell the people about
Oh,
More Labs?
More
and Morning
Labs.
Recovery?
Let me tell you, they bring it. But there's been so many moments where I know I was doomed. And I will say, though, it is not 100% effective because if you black out before you forget or remember to take it, it doesn't work. Because I had my cousin tell me that after my bachelor party. He goes, yeah, so that stuff should be great, but, like, it doesn't work all the time. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? That's a damn lie. Every time I take More Labs, Morning Recovery, I wake up the next day feeling fine when I definitely shouldn't. And he goes, well, I woke up the next day and it was sitting in my bedstand and I hadn't taken it. And so it clearly didn't work. So unless you're an idiot, More Labs Morning Recovery will always cure your hangover no matter how hard or what you've been drinking the night before.
It's so good.
It really
works.
is.
It works wonders. And if you want to try for yourself, just go to morelabs.com. Use the code SPORTS at checkout. You're going to get 20% off your non-subscription purchase. We got the hookup for you. Go check them out, booze it up, and then take a morning recovery, and you are going to be feeling great the next day.
That's right. And
It's guaranteed.
it's
Money back.
guaranteed. And again, don't be an idiot. You don't have to take it at the end of the night.
That's true. You can take it while you're drinking.
right.
They also have more products than just the morning recovery. They also have a liquid focus, which is like it helps you kind of hone in and like that's some Adderall type
I
stuff.
was just going
right
to say,
there.
it's Adderall without a prescription.
Yeah, pretty much. And they've also got some rehydrating stuff, some stuff for your gut, some probiotic stuff.
Oh,
They got
gut. I love a good gut stuff. I love some gut stuff. I will say I'm curious. I want to try the hydration the morning after with the morning recovery because then I feel I will just destroy
You're gonna be
that
golden.
day.
Yeah.
That's right. What more do you need? Oh, you go with the trifecta. You throw the focus after the hydration after. I mean,
Just buy all of it.
yes, sir. Use the code SPORTS. Get 20% off your first order.
Drew, you are like the spokesperson for this too. Like every sale we've made, I feel like it's because of you. You're like telling people on the street that you've never even met
yeah.
before to go get it.
I've told Mike here that he needs to get his act together and get some business cards made with the code or whatever so I can just start handing them out because I guarantee half the people I tell about it don't remember the code specifically. Although I will say the little WikiBuy Chrome extension,
Yeah.
it's got it in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, don't try too hard. Just go to More Labs, sign up for that subscription, get your monthly shipment for you. It'll be straightened out.
All right. Well, while we're waiting on Trey here to hop on the line, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about this D'Antonio thing at Michigan State. So Mark D'Antonio comes out of nowhere, completely blindsides everybody. Now, obviously, there's been some turmoil at Michigan State, and you know this as a Michigan guy. You got some ties
true?
to the
Is
area.
this true?
So he comes out of nowhere and just resigns out of the blue the day before National Signing Day. He just goes and takes a knee, basically. Which, if you're
I
a
thought-
Michigan
wasn't
State,
today National Signing Day?
right? And he resigned yesterday.
sorry,
The day
sorry,
before, he was just like, "I'm out." If you're a
Yeah.
recruit that was looking at, now, granted, this is the BS second National Signing Day that doesn't really count because everybody that really
There's still
matters
some
already
5-stars
signed.
out there.
Are there really?
Yeah, that one DE that Verbal do South Carolina still hasn't actually faxed his letter in because we still do that. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, and all I can think of is because I think you had asked if we're going to see some crazy sanctions or something nuts like that. I think the culture in East Lansing route is just bad, and I'm not saying football, but like I think East Lansing not in a good spot because you see Tom Izzo came out today complaining about people abusing his players on Twitter and stuff like that. So I'm just thinking something ain't right with that whole athletic department, that fan base or whatever, because D'Antonio's a pretty tough dude. I know they didn't have a great year this year, but it wasn't that bad. And I mean, at the same time, like, who do you have to compete with the Big Ten? Ohio State's going to win every year, so just give that up.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's garbage when it matters. That school down south or up north, depending where you're at, because East Lansing is above that other place, is never going to win a big game when it matters as long as Khakis is there.
Kiekis.
Yeah, exactly. So, I can't imagine that there's any other reason for him to leave because it definitely isn't to spend more time with his family. Like, you're 60 whatever years old, still working 80 hours a week. Like, clearly you don't like them. But, it's unfortunate. Like, I think he's a great coach. I liked watching his teams play when he was down here at UC and even when he was up at State because I think that was solid football. I know there was a scandal with the medical staff and everything like that, which is super unfortunate because you never want to see that for the kids because that's the thing is that always bothered me with that situation is he always tried to brush that off and
That's
we
why
don't need to get that heavy
That's
stuff
why
we
I
don't
feel
want to.
like there's something big coming. If you're the coach of a big time program, you don't step down the day before National Signing Day unless you've got a tip off that something big is coming down. Like I feel like that's the only reason why you would. Why now is he like, yeah, I got to spend time with the family. I got it. This has been a tough decision.
Because he's fed up. Like, honestly, that's what I'm saying. I think there's something going on in that front office or whatever where he's just like, this is it. I'm done. And you make it through to this point to try to turn it around and get your kids straightened out and get that class in because it's like, all right, fresh start. But that's the only thing I can think of. Because, again, what's coming down? Is Sparty paying their players?
I don't know. There could be something crazy that hits. Like you never know what the NCAA when the NCAA starts digging into stuff, they're gonna find some shit.
Has there been investigations or anything though outside of that?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know what they found. Whatever they found during that may have uncovered something else that's like this double secret probation type thing that they're now gonna drop the call on, which would be. Like that's, I feel like that's what's coming, and I could be dead wrong on this, and you could be 100% right that it's just like, yeah, he's just tired of it and he wants out. But I feel like something's coming at Michigan State, man, and I'm here for it. I'm kind of okay with that.
Let's put something down on it then.
All right, we'll talk about that. But before we get into all our crazy bets, we do have our guest on the line right now. So joining us on the drunk line. Player for the XFL's Dallas Renegade, good friend of the show. We had him on last year, Trey Watson. Trey, what's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? Appreciate you having me on again.
Dude, thanks for coming back. This is fantastic, man. So let me give you a little story here. We were talking about the XFL on the show. We were trying to decide who we wanted our show's team to be. We decided that we wanted to follow Dallas because Joe and I here from Youngstown, so you've got the Bob Stoops connection there, and then on top of that, we want the Renegades to win a title before the Cowboys win a title. So we thought that'd be great. And then I was like, let me see who's on this roster, and I see your name, and dude, I flipped out. I'm like, Trey Watson is on this team. It was meant to be.
Oh, it definitely was, man. It couldn't have worked out better for you and for me.
Yeah. So take us through, man. The last time we talked to you was just before the draft last year. You were getting ready. Take us through how you ended up here in Dallas.
Yeah, man. Well, it was a long and interesting road, that's for sure. But fortunate to be where I'm at now. But I mean, just since then, obviously, went undrafted, signed with the Dolphins after that. Went through the off season and training camp with them. Felt like I did well in the preseason, but things didn't work out for whatever reason, and they went in different directions. So after that, really was just at home, staying in shape. Worked out with a couple of different teams, the Saints and the Browns, throughout the season early on, and then my agent said, did I want to put my name in this XFL pool, and I figured. Definitely wanted to give it a shot, see what it was talking about, and I ended up, getting drafted by the Renegades there. Started there with mini camp in December, and then, right in the training camp in January, and here we are.
Dude, you mentioned that Miami went a different direction. Now that everything's kind of come out and you realize that Miami was trying to tank, does that make you feel a little bit better? Because it's like they probably passed on you because you were too good.
That's one way to look at it.
Silver lining, man.
Certainly not the way my pockets look at it, but it's all good.
Right, yeah, that's a fair point. I feel like you dodged a bullet though, man. Not having to camp out down there in Miami. Things happen for a reason. When I left, the staff had nothing but good things to say. Interestingly enough, they had a relatively for the team that they had this year, the linebacker room was crowded with guys they had recently drafted, and they had some veterans who they ended up trading, but they left on the roster to then trade, which kind of doesn't make any sense to me because then I ended up being the odd man out there. But, it is what it is. It's a business at the end of the day. Felt like I did well in the preseason, and that's kind of what they echoed. And, to not end up with anything out of that sucks. But in the long run, I'm here with this opportunity now, and, there's always a chance to get back to where I'm trying to go.
Hey, Trey, can I ask you got any Fitzmagic stories?
Man, he was an interesting guy. He had previously he was with Tampa right before he was with the Dolphins, and I'm from Tampa, so I knew him from all the Tampa stories about that season he had. But he's definitely the guy he seems to be all the time. He's oldest guy in the locker room, but one of the funniest, most energetic personalities. And you just never know what you're going to get from him on any given day. You could get cool fits. You could get crazy fits. You really just never know. Or you could get, the old man vet who's just chilling. He's got it all. He's got it all in his bag of tricks.
I've always thought he was the dude that's just making everybody do like math flashcards. And like he's just, you got to learn these tricks. You got to learn how to do this math.
Yeah, no, he's an interesting guy, man. And then on the field, in OTAs, he hit me with a no-look pass one time. I thought I was about to get an interception, and he did me dirty, and that was kind of my little, oh, well, he can do that moment.
All right, so you spent some time in Miami at camp there. You've gone through camp with Dallas. What's the biggest difference that you notice between the NFL camp and the XFL camp?
And is it the cheerleaders?
Well, we haven't seen any of that yet, but
Oh.
no, honestly, Miami in particular, their camp was probably one of the most strict and strenuous ones you'll have, even for NFL standards. With them, Coach Flores being a Patriot guy, and the standard to which they hold themselves, just with the amount of practice, the amount of meetings, the conditioning, and then obviously being down in Florida, that's a whole different type of atmosphere. In those summer months, being there out there all day. But Coach Stoops and everyone up here, I feel like they're one of the most relaxed and just about business staffs that I've ever seen, even dating back to just my times playing football. Period. As long as guys handle their business, he's gonna treat you like a man and let you handle everything else on your own. We've had pretty relaxed practices ourselves, but at the same time, we've been effective and to the point. And in all of our joint efforts, we were clearly the better team. So I feel like that it works that way just as much as it works the work you every minute type of coaching staff that you have definitely in the NFL.
Trey, you have just blown my mind. I know you can't see us right now.
Mike can't
I'm
keep his stuff
shook
together
right
over
now.
here.
I followed Bob Stoops ever since he got to Oklahoma because he does have the hometown connection. I went to the same high school he went to. That's the first time I've ever heard Stoops described in that way. Like I remember him just being the crazy psycho on the sidelines, screaming, getting red faced, like before that was a thing. And he's like, I'm blown away that he's just a laid back guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's the times kind of changed him, and it's him, coming back into this role after not having coached a while and just wanting to enjoy it. But I mean, yeah, he sits back and he'll get after you when you're not holding up to the standards that we've set. But like I said, other than that, I mean, he's having fun, joking, laughing. Our practices are structured really well, and guys get things done.
Has he been? Oh, sorry. Has
Go ahead. Mike has a question.
I'm curious about Stoops.
He's so excited right now.
Because he's a defensive-minded guy and he played linebacker in college. Is he more hands-on with you guys on the D, or is he has he switched because he's got that tie to Landry at quarterback? Like, is he focused more on the offense for you guys?
Oh, I'd say it's been pretty even. I feel like he's definitely let the defensive coaches on the staff really install everything and oversee it. Our defensive coordinator calls the play, so it doesn't. I mean, from what I've seen, it doesn't look like he's overbearing there. But he interjects on both sides. It seems like when it needs to be, and overall, he's really just managing the team as a whole. That's his focus. I feel like he has guys that he really trusts, both on the offensive and defensive staffs, to where he doesn't feel like he has to provide as much play-to-play type input as maybe you'd have when you're a college coach or something like that.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder if that's some of it too, right? And you're in college, you're coaching kids. That's 18, 22-year-olds you're dealing with. I mean, at this point, these are men. So maybe that's part of why he's looking at it differently.
Yeah, definitely could be part of it.
Yeah. So what's the training camp like in general? I mean, you guys go on 2 days. Is it structured or scheduled to similar workload as an NFL? I mean, you guys going full bore on this? XFL is all in?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a similar workload to the NFL. We weren't going 2 days, but I mean, we were, morning to night, meetings, trainings, workouts, practices, more meetings after that, film review, doing all those things. I'd say the structure is very similar. The XFL, they had a centralized training camp where all of the 8 teams were in Houston, allowed them to do joint practices with the different teams and scrimmages and preseason games. It gave them an opportunity to do all that. And the XFL really controlled. They had league mandated off days. They had maximum hours you could be on the field, days where you could do certain things, couldn't do certain things. So I'd say it was pretty similar for most teams. But yeah, it was pretty similar to the NFL, just shorter. We were only there 17 days.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So when did you guys start training? Because first game's this weekend. So when did you guys first put pads on, go through all that? What's that experience been like, transitioning from waiting for a call from the NFL in the fall or after the draft to now? All right, I got a team, I got to meet people, figure all that out. What's that been like for you?
Yeah. So when we came in December, it was a 2-week long mini camp. That was no pads, just helmets. So it was basically just a lot of learning plays, learning coaches, teammates, doing all that stuff, and then just walkthroughs. Obviously, no contact with no shoulder pads or anything on. And then when we came in January, we started on the 3rd. Was our first day of practices, and from there it was, full pads, full go. That first weekend we had a joint practice. A couple days later, scrimmage against another team, then another joint practice, and then we finished with a full preseason game. So it all happened really fast, but we've been full go since then, and then the rosters were decided about 2 weeks ago, and we've had 2 weeks to get ready for this first game.
Nice. So you made a round of cuts then to make the team, right?
Yeah.
Right
So
on.
we started,
Congratulations. That's awesome. Anytime you make a cut's a good day in my book, right? Because I've been cut from a
absolutely.
lot of stuff.
Certainly could have been out of a job once again.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Trey,
and that's never good. But yeah. So they the original rosters were 70 people for training camp, and they broke them down to 52, and then 46 players will be active on game days.
So Trey, let me ask you this: when the XFL first came around, it was 2001. What were you doing when the XFL first launched that long ago?
Yeah. So I was only 5 years old.
I was just gonna say, you really want to make us feel old, Mike?
It.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sorry, Trey.
I remember it because of the outlandish stuff that I heard they were doing. Like they started a game instead of a coin toss. They had two guys run at each other and fight for a ball. They had the nicknames on the jerseys and stuff like that. But certainly was a long time ago for me.
So you've mentioned the weird rules from the past. What new rules, like the overtime or how you score and all that kind of stuff? What new rules are you most excited to see actually play out?
I think it'll be an interesting transition. They're really changing special teams a lot. They took out the runs and kickoff where the kicker kicks the ball off, but he kicks it off by himself, and everyone's down at the 30 and 35-yard line, and that's where the blocks happen. So it's going to be a lot less high-impact collisions, definitely an adjustment period. And then the double pass will be interesting to see how teams utilize that, whether they are you trying to use it all the time, setting up big plays, or whether they just keep it in their back of their pockets for a trick play here and there. But other than that, I think the overtime is really exciting. They're literally going to alternate offense and defense, just like you would at the end of a soccer game where they're doing penalty kicks, and that decides who wins. So that'll be an exciting atmosphere. I think they're even talking about letting the offensive and defensive groups of the teams that aren't going, letting them be almost towards the on the field.
Oh, that's
just because
awesome.
you're only going from the 5-yard line in. So it'll certainly be a tight atmosphere.
So that's where all the fights are going to happen.
That's right. Yeah. Just like at the end of practice, you'll be standing around waiting.
Yeah.
I will say real quick, though, I think that double pass rule, all that is the refs going, man, we ain't going to get this right. So let's just stop trying to call what's a forward pass. To me, that's them just letting themselves off the hook.
Well, and that's what I'm curious about, Trey, because that was the rule that stuck out to me is man, that is unique and different, and I love it. I mean, you've played your entire life knowing that as soon as that quarterback throws that ball, you're going towards the ball. So now, how are you practicing to fight those natural tendencies that you've developed over your entire career?
Yeah, I mean, it leaves a lot of opportunities, certainly, and as playing defense, you really have to adjust. I think a lot of the rules in this league are meant to, increase scoring, increase excitement, and they're just going to favor the offense, unfortunately. But that is what it is. That's kind of what sells tickets. That's kind of what makes the big bucks is exciting plays. So you just have to adjust how you think. Corners. You see someone go on a cracked screen, you can't just commit to the ball right now because even if they throw the screen, he can turn around and throw it again.
Right.
So I think for DBs that'll be the biggest adjustment because they're the ones in the back end at the end of the day and they have to make those plays above anybody else. But it's certainly different. The kickoff rule is just as weird. Being a guy who enjoyed special teams and enjoyed running down the field and being ready to whack somebody, it's more literally just okay. He caught the ball. Now I'm right in front of him. I got to make a tackle. So it's different. Got to learn and adjust and grow with it.
See, I'm here all day for people to just get waxed.
Yeah.
Like I appreciate the defensive side of the football too, though, because like honestly, that's the toughest part. Like you said, you have to read and react almost everything. Everything's stacked against the defense, and I mean the way it always has been, right? If it's raining out there, who's got the advantage? Well, that wide receiver knows when he's going to cut.
Right.
So I feel for you, but at the same time, I'm always pulling for you guys to lay one on those offensive players and like really show them what's up.
Who's the guy in the league that you do want to take out? Like, who's the guy that you're like, man, I can't wait to lay some wood to that dude?
In the XFL?
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think. There's a lot of guys I played against before. That's the crazy thing. Guys I played with in different places. One of my really good friends plays wide receiver for the St. Louis team. DeMornay Pearsonell played against him at Nebraska, but I'd like to hit him. He's a little slippery. We'll see if I can get my hands on him. But then there's guys like in Tampa. I grew up watching Aaron Murray play. I went to his high school games when I was in middle school, so that'll be cool to get to play against him, make some plays. And then I played against Cardale when he was at Ohio State and I was at Illinois. So a lot of different options. I'm someone who's more than willing to hit any and everybody, so it'll just be whoever's there at the time can get it.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
Yes, sir.
Before we let you go here, Trey, we were talking earlier about the Super Bowl, mainly the halftime show. Are you Team Shakira or Team J-Lo after that?
Man, I couldn't.
You can't put him
either
on the
way.
spot like that. Come on.
Also, I'm gonna be honest.
But-
if his girl's in the background, you got
but-
him looking real rough right there too. Damn.
Yeah, but
Disappointing.
I mean, it's pretty crazy to think about. Like J-Lo's 50 plus years old now.
She's
That's
50,
why
yeah.
my girlfriend and I were talking about that. And she just had a movie where she was acting as like a stripper, and she 50 plus doing that. So like, geez, how you still looking like that, doing that at that age, and just don't care at all.
Shakira's 43 too. Like both of them are. I mean, I always feel like the old guy in the room, and both of them got me beat. So,
All right, so you're winning this weekend, yeah?
Yeah, man. They pay more when you win in this league. So
Ooh, there we go.
you walk in the locker room after a loss, you have some mad folks. So you want to have as few of those as possible, preferably none.
well, I do have to say we were looking up the odds. The Renegades are the team to beat in the XFL this year. So we got a lot to live up to here, Trey. So, I mean, can you guarantee it for us now? Like, should I go put my money on the Renegades right now to win this season?
And with how many points?
Yeah, hey man, we're not allowed to bet on it, but yeah, man. Honestly, I think so.
But we can.
I got you. I got you, Trey.
Roster wise, we look good, man. We've got some systems that'll allow guys to make plays on offense and defense. The teams we played in all the scrimmages and practices certainly didn't look like they could hold up against us. So in a real setting, I think it'll be even more obvious.
So while we're talking about it, we talked about a while ago, but if we want to get a jersey to support the team right, what should we put on our backs as far as the nicknames? I mean, are you going to be rocking one, or are you just going with your regular old name
I don't
there?
think they do that anymore.
They don't do that anymore?
No, they went away from the weird names on the back of the jerseys. They're trying to get away from the gimmicks this time around.
Gimmicks,
see if
that's
that works out a
marketing.
little better. But man, I don't know. I've been looking for a jersey to get for my family because I'm number 40, but
All right, number 40.
I don't even know if they're selling right now like just any jersey number. I know they're starting with 20 because it's league starting in 2020. So
yeah.
if you find a way to get any other jersey with a different name or number, let me know. Cause
for sure.
I need the plug on that.
It's time to start tweeting at Vince, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks, Ryan. Anything you want to plug? Socials, where to watch this weekend, anything?
Oh, well, we'll be on this weekend, Sunday at 4. I think we're on ESPN.
Nice.
Every game's either going to be on ESPN, ABC, Fox, or Fox Sports 1. So, no excuse about not having those channels, man. I don't want to hear it from anybody. But yeah, you can catch me on Instagram at Trey_Watson33. Twitter, just type in Trey Watson. I think my actual at name is MD_Q33. But yeah, that's me.
Trey, thank you so
we go.
much for joining us, man. We're hoping for nothing but the best for you, man. We want to see Dallas bring home that chip. I'm going right now to place my bet, so I'll cut you in. We don't have to tell Vince about it. It's cool, man.
Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan, man.
Perfect.
Trey, keep the hits coming, man. Thanks again for joining us, man. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Y'all too.
All right, cheers, man. That was Trey Watson, linebacker for the Dallas Renegades in the XFL. Dude, I love that guy.
He's gonna lay some wood.
Someone's
gonna get
man.
hit.
He's so good. I didn't even I didn't want to even ask him. Like we talked the last time we talked to him was like right after all the stuff happened with DJ Durkin coming back into Maryland and like but he was like so upfront. He's like, nah, that was bullshit. There wasn't any fights about him. It was a different type of thing. But he was like, but that locker room was crazy.
Yep.
But like, I wanted to find out. Like, DJ Durkin's back in college football. He's on
he
Lane
is.
Kiffin's staff now.
Shocker.
Right. How crazy is that duo? But it just wasn't the time and play. But man, I love Trey.
fair,
That
yeah.
dude. That dude is the man. So we're a Renegade squad here. We're all
Yes,
in
sir.
on the Renegade.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the intensity those dudes are gonna have this weekend though? Because I mean, for some of them, for like Trey was, so his last college game would have been like a year ago, like 13, 14 months ago,
Yeah.
right? When that last college season ended. And he ain't got to hit someone for real in a real game
Right.
until now. So I can't wait. Like
I
those
totally-
games are gonna be out of control.
I
It's gonna
totally
be so
forgot about
intense.
getting paid more if you win. Like that completely slipped
Oh,
my
yeah.
mind. Those dudes are going to be out for blood.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
cannot wait. It's going to be so good. And Trey's call was brought to you by MyBookie. That's where I'm going to go to place this bet on the Renegades. Go and use the promo code 12ounce sports. That's 12OZ sports. You're going to get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Be sure to tune into all of the gambling shows right here on the 12 Ounce Sports Network, and then put that knowledge to practice on MyBookie. Make sure you use the promo code 12ounce sports, 12OZ sports, to get the bonus. You can find their banners and links on every page at the station site at www.12ouncesportsradio.com. All right, Joe, help me out here with this NBA trade deadline because I know that Capella's gone. And I know the Knicks are a garbage organization. That's all I've gathered from this week NBA talk.
Andre Iguodala has just been traded to the Miami Heat.
What?
There we go.
Iggy, wow.
They were talking about that on Sports Center before I came over here. Yeah.
That's crazy. What's a bigger trade? Iguodala going to the Heat or Mookie Betts going to LA?
Well,
Boston.
no one cares about baseball.
Whoa.
So-
Whoa.
Definitely.
Whoa.
Let's go. I got an ally.
Wow. I mean, that's a big trade. Jock Peterson's off the Dodgers. He's going to the other LA
Who?
squad that's not really in LA. Now you got Trout and Jock in the same lineup. Come on, dude.
Who?
That's huge. Trout and Jock. Jock and Trout.
Look again.
Trout and Jock. Jock and Trout? Which way's better? Trout and Jock, right? Trout
Does
and Jock.
not
It's
matter.
got to be Trout and Jock. Jock and Trout. No, Jock and Trout sounds better.
I think that sounds.
Jock and
Worse.
Trout. Jock and Trout. That's why it's better.
I'm jocking my trout.
Wait, but for real, Jock
spells his name
Peterson's in plays for the Angels now.
Yeah, he got traded. As
How
part of that
about
whole
that?
trade, he got shipped out.
Oh, as part of the Mookie Betts trade.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was that trade or because of that trade that he got moved to the
I will
Angels,
still watch
but-
more axe throwing than baseball on TV this year, guaranteed. But more seriously, I'll engage you in a meaningful discussion about this. The baseball season is so damn long that realistically, I see no point in tuning in until like July or August because teams in March can be so completely different than
Pitchers
the way
and
they finish their
catchers
seasons.
report next week.
I was gonna say, I heard someone on 1530 saying they're about to flat the spring training. I was like, you've got to be
I
joking
can't wait.
me.
Pitchers and catchers next
have to
week.
listen to all that.
The Reds lineup is so good this year. It's World Series. It's World
Yes,
Series
it
bound.
is so good on paper and video games.
If
but
you wanna
they
hear
still
me-
have to throw the ball.
If you want to hear me rail about the Reds, I got more coming this week on Cincinnati Style because they had another sign. Oh, this team just keeps getting
You know, it's
better.
funny. I just remembered I have to do something right after this show ends. So Mike will be alone for the Cincy style. But anyways, about the NBA trade deadline, that's a great trade. It's big. It's big for the Heat. But honestly, Joe, does that really change things? Because I'm thinking it's LeBron's and AD's to lose.
That is what most people think right now. But, I mean, Miami's been a pretty good team this year.
Sure.
A lot of young talent. And
I
maybe.
mean, does that make them better than Milwaukee? Like, I still feel like they still got to get past Milwaukee in the East, right? So I don't think it gets them better than Giannis.
That's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you can't imagine Giannis is going to have the same postseason this year as he did last year.
No, but that team is balling out.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying, though, is that this year this postseason, he's going to perform a lot more than he did the previous one. But that team is still all on his shoulders. So, I mean, at some point,
those are some huge shoulders. Have you
they
seen
sure
those
are.
things?
He's-
Good Lord.
dude is wide.
He is that's a big man. That's a big man.
Because there are small men in the NBA.
Yeah, but there's not freaks like Giannis.
That's true.
That dude is not human.
But see, we got the standings up here. I could see the Bucks Raptors being a good series. The Heat, yeah, they're up and coming. The Pacers, they just got what's his name back? Dude that blew out his leg. This is the extent of my NBA knowledge. Let's talk college basketball. It'd be even better.
I'm still like
Fire
wait,
Travis Steele. That's about all I
wait.
got. But again, and the West is interesting too, though, because you got the Lakers at the top, the Rockets. They moved Capella, but does that move make them better in the playoffs? I think it does in the regular season.
Joe, are the Lakers still fool's gold? The last time I was up on the Lakers and was really looking, you were like, yes, but all of their wins are against garbage teams. Are they still fool's gold?
No, they've been a little better. Like a lot of better, but a little better.
Do you really think, though, that LeBron's going to be denied in what is now the year of Kobe?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's
We'll
why
find
I
out.
feel the NBA's fixed. Like the Lakers are going to win.
Yeah, it's fixed because LeBron controls it, man. He is
Well,
the
yeah,
architect.
I mean
Matrix
that's
style, pulling all
definitely
those
a
strings,
way
like-
that it's fixed. Is, I
The
would
last
agree
time
with that.
LeBron had a really true cause to play for, he won Cleveland their first championship. Right? Like you can't that guy was he has never been more motivated in his life than he went back to the Cavs for that.
That's true, and
So-
and that's all. He just wanted that one, and he was like, "Good, now I can leave again. And
Yeah.
they won't burn my jersey." That's all he wanted. Is that.
Those jerseys ain't cheap. I never understood that.
Did you see the guy, the Chiefs fan that tried to burn his couch after the Super Bowl and he lit himself on fire?
It's probably because he had grain alcohol over his clothes and just went up.
That was amazing.
Victor Oladipo, that's who I was thinking of.
I was wondering if that's who you were.
Yeah. He's been out all year. He just came back this last week.
Dude's
I
got
think.
some pipes. Oladipo's got some pipes. You didn't know that? Oladipo.
You've
can
been watching
sing.
that Masked Singer? Or
I have
something?
been.
What?
He was on there, right? Wasn't Oladipo
Are you
on the
serious?
Masked Singer? Yeah, I'm pretty sure
I don't know. I
Oladipo was
don't
on
watch
the Masked
it.
Singer.
Yeah, right.
I think last season Oladipo was on the Masked Singer, but he really does have pipes. Like he's a pretty good singer. That's all I know about Oladipo.
Cool. Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking forward to the playoffs this year. I think are going to be good. They've been all right the last ones,
It'll
but
be
it was
more
it was
fun.
always the Warriors are going to win the West. Maybe they'll
Right.
get pushed in the finals, but I think this year you're going to have some chaos, which I'm really looking
I
forward
do.
to.
Yeah, this is. I am excited to see this playoffs this time around. I just can't get into. I know, NFL's over. Baseball hasn't started. I can't get into hockey, and NBA regular season just
That's
doesn't.
on you, bro.
I know it is on me. It's 100% on me. But these are two sports. NBA and NHL are two sports that, like, as soon as the playoffs hit, I can't stop watching. But
Yeah.
like during the season, I'm like, let me go watch an episode of Letterkenny.
I mean, that's not a bad
That's a
second
good
option,
show,
I'm gonna say.
right? That's a good show.
It's not like you're sitting there watching the Masked Singer instead of hockey, because that I'd have a problem with. But well, honestly, if nothing else, I need to get you into just the YouTube videos of all the fights or the sweet moves and
Dude,
stuff.
wasn't
like
there
that.
like a goalie fight?
Oh my God, they're
this
the
week?
freaking best.
Oh.
They're the absolute
All right,
best.
so tell me who was in this goalie fight, because I just remember seeing it posted in the Craft Brewed Sports group.
A Canadian and a foreigner.
But it was, I think, Ottawa, right?
Oh no, actually, it was the Battle of Alberta, I think.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So here's what I loved about that fight. I think it was the Ottawa goalie came to center ice, and like called out, like everybody was like, oh, here it goes, it's about to be a goalie fight. And I feel like if you come out to center ice and call out the other goalie, you better win that fight. And he did. He knew exactly what was going to happen if that goalie came out and met him, and he beat the shit out of him.
Well,
oh, it was beautiful.
For a little context, in NHL 20, EA is offering this year, if you are the goalie and you skate past the blue line, it automatically triggers a fight with the other goalie. Like, because that's how just ingrained these rules are to hockey. Is like that's how it's just straight up built into stuff. So yeah, no, it was awesome. I'm trying to find it here. I had the highlight.
See, if they could guarantee that,
It was the Oilers and the Flames.
all right, cool. If they could guarantee something like that happening every single game, I'd be more on board.
But see, that's the thing, dude. Something like that happens every single game. It's just not always a fight.
That's the problem. Give me the
I
fights.
know we're Americans.
Okay,
we have no patience.
See, the thing is, like, he just can't get behind it, but he can get behind baseball that has no fights ever, except for maybe like someone slides a little bit outside the baseline.
Oh,
and
no fights
controversy.
ever.
Well,
No
see,
fights
now-
ever. Let's see some more bat flips,
You
and
want
we'll
to
see
see a
some
weak
fights,
fight,
baby.
man? Dude, I've seen raccoons backside of my house fight more than baseball players. Those little friggin' sissies. Are you kidding me right now?
Johnny Cueto kicked a dude.
Congratulations.
How is Matt Carpenter going to explain that to his kid?
Wait, kick it, dude. You gotta get the hell out of here, man, with that nonsense. Because you know what it is, Joe? Baseball is just a reason for Mike to shirk his family duties and get drunk for 4 hours every day. of the
4
summer.
hours is correct.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. That's why he loves baseball.
Every day.
Every day. That's why I do love baseball. It's every day.
At least he admits it. I'll give him credit for that. though.
Every day of just
Every day is like NASCAR. You just fall asleep in the chair while watching it.
I like to listen to it while I lay in the hammock. That's
Are you one of those people that listen to it and watch it with
No.
the TV muted?
No, because
Oh,
it doesn't
I-
ever match up.
I thought you were
correctly.
gonna say, are you one of those people that listens to it while at the ballpark?
No, not that
I
guy
could see
either.
I could see Mike walking around with his old like 1990s headphones.
He just wears
Bartman?
these.
transistor
I go
radio.
Bartman
yeah,
style.
Go full Bartman style on it.
Because there are
Yeah.
some people that turn off the sound of the TV and like the radio
Yeah,
person
it
better.
doesn't match up. It doesn't
never
match
matches
right.
up.
Those
No,
are also
you
the
can't
same
do that.
people who say the Super Bowl halftime show is too sexual, though. I'm pretty sure.
That's a
Probably.
good po- yeah, that's a good point. All right, let's get into last call. Before we do that, Drew, I just realized you got your Emmy sitting here.
I forgot.
Wow.
Yeah, our other co-host. That's so rude of us. There's a lady in the room.
I
Yeah.
apologize for not introducing your friend here.
At this point, it's just home decor, so I get it.
How did you win this Emmy? Like, how did you get this?
Well, Joe already flipped the explicit flag, so I can say being a badass motherfucker. That's how. More seriously, I work for Fox Sports recently, and I was part of their World Cup 2018 software development staff. And as part of that, I built the website that streamed all of the FIFA World Cup men's and women's, for that matter, soccer matches over the course of that tournament. So if anyone watched on the website, you used my shit, so you're welcome. Yeah.
Also, I like when you won this, you texted me and you're like, hey, man, you want to interview an Emmy Award winner on your
Yeah,
show?
right.
And I was like, yeah, dude, that'd be cool. And he was like, cool, what time should I call in?
And then Mike goes, "That's funny. What are you talking about? Like, what? You work for Kroger, dude."
It's awesome. I also feel it's been terrifying to sit next to this all night because I've been like very afraid to move because I
Oh,
don't want to
yeah.
knock it over because it's so precious.
I mean, it is, but she's like already getting a little scuffed down here. She's had a couple too many shotguns.
You've taken
on
her to. I was gonna say you've taken
Oh
her
yeah,
to
she's done a good road
tailgates
show.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Tailgates. We've taken her to the park. She's gone all around the place. Like, it's great.
Bed.
Oh yeah, that's where she was the first night she showed up at the house.
Did you Shiva this thing? Did you Shiva Kamini this thing?
No comment.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. And I'm gonna move this a little bit.
I cannot confirm or deny if my wife is watching, so I will pass to the next question.
Let's get into last call. Last call brought to you by Tavor. If you need to fill up your beer fridge, head on over to Tavor, download their app, use the code 258023. You're going to get $10 off your second order after you place that first order. That's 258023 at Tavor. Stock up today. This week's beer we got from Tavor. This was The Cat Ate My Stash and Pissed on the Christmas Tree from Gigantic Brewing Company in Portland, Oregon. Dank 7.5% ABV brew. Drew, you have the honors. Final verdict on this one.
So I finished mine, I don't know, I want to say 20 minutes ago, and I've been trying to figure out, like, how do I get out of here to get more?
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah,
it's
right?
a problem.
No, it's really good. I like it a
You
lot.
gotta learn to pace yourself on it.
Yeah, right? I mean, again, there's beer, I drink it, right? Isn't that how it goes? But more realistically, for this one specifically, it's delicious, it's smooth, it's got flavor to it. If you like hops or you like something in your beer, I'd go with this. It's a strong beer. It holds up well.
So good.
Yeah.
Sneaky 7.5%. Like, it does not feel like it's that heavy of a brew.
I do feel a little warm. I'll
Yeah,
admit.
well,
I
yeah.
got a little toasty, but, took the sweatshirt off, feeling
Yeah, I was
great
gonna say
now.
you did shed a layer.
Yeah, had to happen, man.
I love it. I would totally buy this one again. Fantastic beer. Joe, final verdict on the cat ate my stash and pissed on the Christmas tree.
Real good.
That means it's
Ooh,
really,
real
really
good.
That's how good you know this beer
That's
was.
a lot.
This has been Last Call, brought to you by Tavor. Again, use the code 258023 on the payments and credit screen. You get $10 off your second order. This has been a damn fun show, fellas.
Yes, this has been something else.
Thank you for hanging out, Drew. It was a good time, man. We're definitely gonna see you back in the speakeasy here.
I'll be here till you kick me out.
Do it responsibly.
Oh shit! Yeah, Joe's leaving here soon, so it's gonna be a lot of
Deuces.
Joe will be. You're out next week, right? Oh man, it's gonna be a thing next week.
It's going to be great.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it done.
We're going
You
to talk
boys-
a lot of pitchers and catchers.
Your boys
Go over
got
the
you.
full 75-man roster.
Be sure to go to craftbrewedsports.com/shop. Get your show gear. We got shirts, hats, tank tops, hoodies, whatever. Go
Hockey
hit that
jerseys
up.
coming.
Soon, maybe. I don't
Let's
know.
put that pressure on them, folks. JB, I know you out there.
craftbrewedsports.com/shop. Rep the show. Help us out. Spread the word. You can also follow the show in between the shows. You can hit us up on Instagram or Twitter at craftbsports. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're going to start putting the shows up there. We do Cincinnati
sir.
style there. Here on Facebook, make sure you're clicking that like button and notify you when we go live. Subscribe, rate, and review on all of your podcast apps. We're everywhere. Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. We're everywhere. Also, huge thank you to 12 Ounce Sports TV Network for streaming the show as well. And thank you to all of you who shared us out and helped us to get this in front of your friends' eyes. Robert Taylor, Jessica Shook helping us out, Chris America hitting that share button, and everybody else that helped us out. Thank you all very much. We really appreciate it. We also want to say thank you to Trey Watson for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Go Dallas, go Renegades, because that dude's the man.
Go smack some fools, Trey. You got it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you guys next week. Cheers, everybody.
Peace out.